Let's bring in energy analyst Ruse Moleshe now, who joins us virtually from Pretoria. To quote the electricity minister close to the end of his briefing, he said, to sum up, Kusile sits on a critical path and it gives us the path to ending load shedding. What did you make of his comments and his specific focus on the various units of the bigger power stations?
Good morning. What I make of what the minister is saying is really what has been, I think, known, or what has been going on all along. I think we all know as a country that we have a constraint when it comes to the supply of electricity that is unable to meet the demand. That has been an ongoing matter for many years. It continues to be an ongoing matter. And what he's referring to is the 3 units that are within Kusile. I think he's hoping that they can be brought back to stream earlier than expected. But what I think we should all know is that these constraints are not something that will be fixed over a short period of time. The minister referred to unplanned outages from some of the power plants and therefore having to do planned maintenance. This is an ongoing matter that sometimes cannot be predicted. And therefore, when we have a very tight system from a supply-demand point of view, you will continually should continually expect to have this. We as a country should be looking at the longer term. We may be able to get back the 3 units from Kusile, but in the long run, countries run systems like this with having reserve capacity that stands by for any eventuality. And South Africa, yes, is concerned right now about the short-term issues related to load shedding. But I think that we should be looking at the bigger picture in the long term. When are we going to have additional supply side capacity that alleviates the problem completely?
Do we run the risk of being caught up in the minutiae? Because we're getting these weekly updates from the electricity minister. We're always looking for something new that he perhaps is putting in front of the media and putting in front of the nation. Today, saying that the country will most likely move to stage 3 or 4 load shedding this week. And that's supposed to be good news for us because we've just had more than a week of stage 6 load shedding. Do you think that perhaps comes with the risk that we're not being looking at the big picture and trying to feel positive of something like stage 3 or 4 load shedding?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm alluding to. We have bigger problems in the long term. We cannot run an economy based on, are we lucky today that we have less unplanned maintenance, less unplanned outages, and tomorrow not. Yes, of course, there is a plan to return to service the Kusile units, and they will give a significant capacity back to South Africans and will significantly reduce the risk of load shedding, because the risk remains for as long as you have supply side interventions that won't have a reserve capacity. Other countries have a certain percentage of reserve capacity that stands by to be able to address these issues. We're still at a level where we're looking at the short term. So whilst we're looking at the short term, it's important because it's a pain to South Africans to have outages and load shedding that impacts on the economy. I think that we will lose the bigger picture. We should be looking at that at the same time.
Let's talk a little bit about Kusile Power Station. And this really seems to be a problem child on the country's electricity grid. The minister saying that it is one of the newest power stations that we have, but one of the most problematic. And I'm quoting him directly there. And this station was problematic even when it was built. The news coming through about how much it was out of budget just building the thing. And we don't even want to think about the money that it's taking now. Do you think that it's worth trying to fix this thing? Because to many, they'd say it's just throwing water down the toilet, or in this case, diesel down the toilet.
Yes, it's very much worth looking at and helping to resolve the issues at Kusile. because as the minister alluded to, it's almost 3 stages of load shedding. That would be alleviated if these issues were addressed. And we are hoping that he's saying that they were going to go there. There's potentially an announcement. We're hoping that that announcement, we are hearing on the sidelines that they could be shortened, the period that we are expecting for those units to come back. They will have a significant impact. And hopefully when they do, we as a country work on the longer term issues again to make sure that we've got significantly more capacity that comes on stream.
You use the various phrases like unexpected and unplanned, and I would understand that in engineering terms, those are the kind of words you don't want to use, but you have to prepare for the unexpected and the unplanned. Do you think that's the most frustrating thing for the ESCOM team working on this, in trying to set up a plan for maintenance, trying to stick to it, but they just cannot get to all of the problems soon enough to prevent stage 6 load shedding and upwards?
So the reason why they do preventative maintenance or long-term maintenance on the plants is to make sure that, because you can't really, sometimes you can't really expect that things will run smoothly. And that is why you generally have spare parts that are available. In case of ESCOM, those problems have been plaguing them for a long time in terms of having spare parts that are available to replace quickly. So it is expected with plants, especially plants that have been around for a while, to have outages that occur. However, generally we have a plan of having everything available in terms of spare parts at your disposal. We know that ESCOM had financial problems which National Treasury is trying to help them with, to make sure that at least you can prevent or you can bring the units back on stream as quickly as you possibly can.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. As always, energy analyst Ruse Moleshe joining us virtually there from Pretoria.